All right, welcome. I am going to be talking about thesis statements today, and this is kind of like my quick series of videos if you've been absent for class as we went over and talked about thesis statements. So I'm going to start with thesis. The next video is probably going to be outlining, and then we'll do intro as well. But today we're going to start off with thesis statements, and when I polled the whole class and I said, give me a thumbs up if you feel pretty confident with thesis statements, like you could write one right now, give me a thumbs up. If you're definitely needing a refresher, give me like a sideways thumbs. And then if you are like, crap, what is a thesis statement? Give me a thumbs down. And you'd actually be pretty surprised that all of those answers kind of ranged from I'm awesome at a thesis to like, crap, what's a thesis? So here's just a quick refresher, even if you feel somewhat confident with thesis statement writing, or if you missed today, this lesson is for you. So I had students grab a Chromebook and then log in and pull up a Google Doc for the starter and class notes, and then to pull out your checkpoint 1 flowchart. So all of this is going to be what helps you with getting started with thesis statements. And then I had you respond to these 4 questions. So number 1, what is a thesis statement? And I wanted you to define that in your own words. Why are they important? How do I write one? What does the acronym SORT mean? And then from your checkpoint 1, I wanted you to write down your overall topic and then your 3 subtopics that you broke up, like you broke your big topic into 3 mini subtopics. And that's going to help you really hone in your thesis statement. So really, if you did fill out your flowchart first, you kind of already have a working thesis. You at least have a direction, and now today's goal is to build an even better working thesis that's actually a sentence and a statement that takes a stance. So the goals for today were down here: build working thesis, and then if we had time, we were going to start to discuss outlining and work on outlining, and then of course catch up on summaries as always. So the first thing, I had you do that, and then we added to our notes. So these are the 3 things that kind of determine what a thesis statement is. So first of all, a sentence that's usually found in the last sentence of an introductory paragraph that summarizes the main points or claim of an essay. Your thesis also usually answers a specific question and focuses on 2 to 3 specific points. For you, you're going to have 3 because those are your subtopics that you're working with. And your thesis is usually explained throughout your paper using examples and evidence. So that is what is a thesis statement. And then I had you open up a new tab, and I had you go to this website, which is right here. And I really liked this website. So this was called 10 Thesis Statement Examples to Inspire Your Next Argumentative Essay. Obviously, we are writing persuasive essays, but still, nonetheless, you're building argument as you're trying to persuade. So we just read the first part of this, and I'll have you read it on your own. But we looked at thesis statements as almost like a great film trailer, like a movie trailer that you're like, oh my gosh, I so have to see that. It just gives you like a highlight. It encourages you to want to see that movie or want to see more of that. And that's kind of what a thesis statement does. Like, it lets the reader know if they want to keep going with your paper, and it communicates to them the 3 to 4 points, 2 to 3 points that you're going to prove through your essay. So anyway, this just discusses it. I'll let you read it on your own. And then I liked this like little section that said the thesis statement dissected. And it says what makes for a good thesis statement. And there's 4 components. So you want it to be focused. And I liked this. It was the anatomy of a frog. You want it to be debatable. So that's why you're persuading your reader. Like, you want to take a stance on it, a persuasive stance. So you want somebody to be able to debate with you. You're picking a side, and then you're making claims, which are your subpoints, as you can see here, like the frog's little feet. And then it just goes through each of those points more expanded and developed upon. So thesis is focused and not too broad. It says what you should not write. Eating fast food is bad and should be avoided. But down here, where the green arrow is, it says do write. Americans should eliminate the regular consumption of fast food because the fast food diet leads to preventable and expensive health issues such as diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. So this is really broad. Don't eat fast food, it should be avoided. This tells you why you should not, and that's what we're trying to prove, or not to prove, that's what we're trying to prove through our thesis statement. A good argumentative thesis is centered on a debatable topic. Yes, it should be debatable. Picks a side, and so it gives you do's and don'ts. And then makes claims that will be supported later in your paper. Humans should relocate to Mars. Okay, but why? And this gives you examples. And then there's also 10 thesis statement examples on different topics and subjects. So you can read through those, and that just helps you in the process of building. So anyway, back to this. After we dissected it based on the frog that was just pictured, we talked about why a thesis is important, and obviously it helps you to organize your research paper, and it helps you to think of like your thesis as a roadmap for your entire essay. You guys have all seen this organizer before where you put your thesis up here in a basic 5-paragraph essay, and then you have body paragraph 1, 2, and 3 based on your reasons. For you guys, you're going to have subpoint 1, 2, and 3 from your thesis, and then you're going to have multiple paragraphs for each point here. So then how do I write a thesis statement? I had you guys use this SORT formula that I taught you a couple years ago. If you have this formula, it will help you so much in the future. Like I used SORT so often in college, and sometimes it seems formulaic at first, but it actually really helps you build it. So you always have to have a subject that you're working with. That's the S. The O stands for opinion. So you have to have a claim of some sort, taking a stance, which in persuasive essays, that's what you're doing. Reasons, which are based in research, which for you guys, this R is going to stand for your subtopics. You've already determined these. So that's something that you can automatically already have part of this completed. And all of those together equal your thesis. So this was often the place that I started when writing. And you can make it more sophisticated as you play with words. So that's the acronym. Then I had you guys write down the following thesis statements in your Google Doc as fast as you can, just to get in the process and just get into the habit of how a thesis statement should sound with the subject, the opinion, and reasons. And so you can do that right now, just to kind of practice. And then we went through together and identified for each thesis statement the subject in red, the opinions in pink, or the claims, and then the reasons, which there's usually 3. So for this first one, for example, we have the subject being a teenager in today's world. Opinion has many interesting challenges, because some people could think being a teenager is not challenging, including balancing friends, family, and school. So your reasons are friends, family, and school, and those become, if you go back here, your 3 subtopics that you're going to write a bunch on. Obviously, this is a very, very simple thesis statement. It might have been something you wrote in like middle school, and then I'm going to show you how you progressively move up and make it more sophisticated. So for the second one, music education must not be eliminated from schools because it positively develops the brain, assists in the development of social skills, and contributes to healthy lifestyles. So take a minute and identify where the subject, opinion, and reasons are. And we identified this being music education as our subject, which I'm going to try to draw an S. The opinion is must not be eliminated from schools. And the blue is because it positively develops the brain, that's my first point. Assists in the development of social skills. And contributes to healthy lifestyles. So that's all 3. Now the difference between this one and this one, obviously this one's a little bit more sophisticated, but it's a simple switch or play with verbs. So for the first point, it develops the brain. So positively develops is kind of like my power verb. It assists in the development of social skills. So assists being my power verb. And contributes to healthy lifestyles. So sometimes just playing with verbs and changing up the verbs can make it sound more sophisticated. Last one, it is too late to save Earth. This one's kind of funny. Therefore, humans should immediately set a date for their relocation to Mars where, with proper planning, they can avoid issues of famine, war, and global warming. So the subject would most likely be, it's too late to save Earth, so it's all about this Earth concept. Therefore, humans should relocate. So this becomes your opinion. It's a big opinion. And then your reasons become so they can avoid issues of famine, war, and global warming. Okay, so that's just like the building of a thesis, or actually deconstructing of a thesis. Then I asked you guys to build one together. We've actually built one together. So if somebody were trying to lose weight, what advice would you give them? And I just had you fill in this chart. So what's my subject? In order to lose weight, or in order to shred pounds, or in order to live a healthy lifestyle, one must, and then we had 3 reasons: exercise, eat better, drink water, go in the sauna, that says down here, sleep. And we always talked about within a thesis statement, staying away from I as in first person and you second person. So we always want to look at the greater majority, like overall society should do this, or individuals should consider blah blah blah. So then that just went into, I think that was everything. So we just built different ones and played with words and added power verbs, so you can play with that. And then I posed these 3 questions. So I wanted you to just practice writing your own thesis statements in response to the prompts. So first one, pretty simple. What does it take to be successful in school? We started with brainstorming reasons. What does it take to be successful? Determination, self-control, commitment, hard work, grit, discipline, lots of different things. So in order to be successful in school, students must practice self-control, implement commitment. You can play with all the different power verbs and reasons. Number 2, should public schools require students to wear uniforms? Yes or no? Yes, public schools should require students to wear uniforms because it equalizes poverty in a sense, or it provides an equal playing field for others. Or the other side could be no, because it eliminates self-expression, dampens creativity, and something else. So I'm just kind of thinking off the cusp here. Should euthanasia or physician-assisted suicide be legal? My 5th period got into a really good debate about this. But anyhow, I gave each class like 5 to 10 minutes just to practice writing utilizing the sort formula back here. So what's my subject? What's my opinion? And what are my reasons? And then that helped us get into your turn with building your thesis. So the final phase, please start filling in each part of sort in regard to your topic. What's your subject? Fill it in. What's your opinion? Fill it in. What are your subtopics? Fill it in. Number 4, now combine all parts into one sentence. This is your thesis statement. Please copy and paste to a new doc and upload it to the Google Classroom assignment. And then you're done with thesis. And once you submit to Google Classroom, I will hopefully approve or disapprove your thesis, and you'll have a pretty solid game plan as to where you're headed next.